Hello and welcome to this mini lesson inside the P portal. Today we are looking at aggression and, what I should have put there as well actually, assertion, because quite often for your exam and just in sport in general, aggression and assertion, they're often confused. There's a little bit of grey area between them. So what we're going to be doing today is unpacking that grey area and making sure that you're clear on what the two of them are. So first of all, we have two terms. We have aggression, which is obviously already up there on the board, but we're going to delve into the definition of it within sport. And then we have assertion. So aggression and assertion. Now these two are almost opposites of each other. The first, aggression, this is where harm is intended. So both of these can exist in sport, but quite often aggression is the negative and assertion is the positive. Harm is intended, whereas with our assertion, it's goal-directed. Now, you could argue that the goal direction of aggression is harm, but we'll unpack that a little bit more. Assertion is proactive. The performer is intending to be assertive, whereas when it comes to aggression, this is usually when a person is being reactive. So they become frustrated or annoyed at something and they've lashed out. Something's happened to them, and to try and make themselves feel better, they perform an aggressive action. Whereas assertion is more proactive. They are intending to do something. There is an intentional outcome. Intended outcome. Assertion stays within the rules of the sport. Within the rules. Whereas aggression is typically outside the rules, or let's say unlawful within the context of sport, and quite often violent. So assertion is used to better the performance. It's actually more motivation behind an action. There's more intent behind the action. It's someone working at their maximal effort, within the rules, lawfully, competing at their best level. Their only goal is to improve the performance. Now, if someone gets hurt in the process, that's not the goal. So take a boxing punch, for example. That is quite literally an aggressive act. It's a punch to someone's head. But to perform assertively is to throw the correct punch at the correct time, at the correct weight, so that they can score enough points to try and win. A boxer going into a ring with the intent to be just aggressive, just to be violent, just to harm the other person, they're probably not going to perform as well. So aggression, there's more anger, there's frustration, there's harm that's intended. They're reacting negatively to the situation. Whereas assertion, this is a positive reaction or proaction. So they're thinking about what they're about to do and they're committed to it 100% with the goal of bettering their performance or performance outcome. And then whatever they're doing, they stay within the rules. So that's the difference between aggression and assertion. Now, both of which can occur indirectly or directly. I'm going to split these up now. So both could go up or down here, but we have indirect and direct. And the simplest way to differentiate between the two is contact with someone. So if I just put someone else, so direct, someone else. Equipment. So indirect aggression or assertion is when a performer does all of this, one or the other, but only using the equipment. So it might be, for example, a hard shot, a fast bowl, the sprint technique, the perhaps an explosive exit from the blocks in a 100-meter run. In pole vault, it could be a slightly different technique where there's a little bit more whip on the bar to try and get them a little bit higher. No one else is involved. When someone is being indirectly assertive, all of these things, they're proactive, goal-directed, intended outcomes, it's within the rules, but they're just using the equipment. It could be a fast bowl in cricket, so the performer is just using the cricket ball to bowl as fast as they can to try and get a better bowl, to make it harder for the opponent to hit it. Whereas direct assertion or direct aggression is when someone else is involved. It involves physical contact with others. So it could be a tackle in rugby. It could be someone in basketball or netball boxing out to try and protect their space, and in doing so they might bump into someone and that person ends up on the floor. Technically a non-contact sport, or both of them technically non-contact sports, but there is an element of contact in them. So direct is when someone else is involved, there's physical contact between someone and an opponent, but these things still occur. So it could be a fight, an aggressive physical contact. An assertive physical contact could be a rugby tackle, where there is that contact with the opponent, but if it's below the shoulder line, if they wrap properly, if the intended outcome is to slow them down and not to hurt them intentionally, then that would be assertive or direct assertion. So, recap. Aggression and assertion. Aggression, assertion, two different things. One is bad and it's not within the rules. Assertion is good, it can improve performance. It's within the rules and everything's planned out. It's premeditated and it's beneficial. Then both of them can occur indirectly or directly. Indirectly is when either of these is applied to equipment. Direct is when either of these are applied to someone else and there's physical contact. So what can we do to try and prevent aggression and promote assertion? We'll just come down here. First one is quite obvious: punish. Punish aggression, and especially with younger performers, we reward assertion. So just by looking at the reinforcement theory, where we can use positive or negative reinforcement or punishment, we can start to remove the aggressive actions in younger performers and promote assertive actions instead. On the adult stage or the elite stage, the punishment might come in the form of fines or bans or sanctions on the pitch. We can also try to remove triggers. Remove triggers. So an example could be to use TMO or third match official. It could be to use Hawkeye. It could be to try and use technology or another set of eyes to try and remove errors such as bad decision making. So bad official decision making. It might be to try and remove opposing fans from being too close to the pitch or the court side. It might be to, in some sports, remove people from the spectator stands who are trying to get on or get in the heads of the players. So in tennis, for example, the fans might be asked to leave if they're being rude or disruptive during the serve. So we can try and remove the triggers that can cause aggressive actions. We can punish those who are being aggressive, be it at youth level or adult level, and reward those who are being assertive. And if we do those, we can attempt to get rid of aggression. And that's that. So I hope you found that useful, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next one. Bye for now.